Who won this game?
I mean, Al Horford,
No.
boy.
Marcus
Who?
Smart.
Marcus Smart?
It was like
The
that
player
kid
of the
in
month.
pop quiz was just like,
I'm like,
Yeah, Joe Sway's like, I
who
didn't
do we not
study.
talk about? You're right,
I
though.
didn't
We haven't talked
study.
about Marcus. We haven't talked about Marcus. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
he was so good again.
All right, we can talk Marcus.
Joe
You know
Sway
what?
caught sleeping in class, dude.
You know what? Jason Tatum
That's what
getting
happens when
Marcus
you don't
Smart
put your
that open
homeschooling in.
three-pointer, I think was symbolic
right.
for the Celtics fans to see, right? Like, not only am I sticking with the program, but Mr. Call everybody out guy, here you go, man. You got that one, and he knocks it down. You know, when he's shooting like that, that's when things come easy. But of course, he wasn't just doing that; he was also being a playmaker out there. So yeah, Smart had himself a great night. Absolutely, this is the Marcus Smart Celtics fans will take every single night.
Yeah, 10 threes is a little high for my liking, but I mean, he shot 40%.
That's true. Usually
so,
it's like
40% is
4 for
40%.
7. Yeah, something like
Right,
that.
and on a night when Tatum was struggling like he was, you'll take that. You will absolutely take that.
Someone's got to shoot it and hit the shot. So,
yeah.
But that's like a night where Schroeder would probably have taken a chunk of those. But if obviously he's out, like someone's going to shoot the ball tonight. So you really can't get too upset with Marcus Smart taking those shots because, in a night where Brown's got the minutes restriction, Schroeder's out, Tatum's missing everything. Like, hey, credit to Marcus Smart. He's never going to shy away from taking the shot, but for him to go 7 of 16, you'll take that from Marcus Smart any night.
And he had 4 turnovers, which was very Schroeder-like. So
that is
true.
Like,
four turnovers.
The team had 12
we'll take 4 turnovers.
Actually, 4 turnovers is a good night for Dennis.
Yeah. Four's not bad, but you know what?
The average is like 3.
This is a Schroeder line. This is honestly a Schroeder line.
It is.
Marcus Smart had a Schroeder line tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, if he's doing the Smart things and adding in a Schroeder scoring line, that's a pretty good night from Smart.
Wow, Bob, I thought you would resent that comment. I'm surprised.
Hey, it's not 8. It's 4. That's half.
I thought you didn't want Marcus's name anywhere near Schroeder's. Those are 2 completely different players, guys.
I love them together. It's just not going to happen though, unless they're injured, which is fine. That's why you.
But it happens late in games. It happens a lot.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a closing line.
That's going to be the closeout.
Which is good.
Right?
They complement each other well, and if I'm looking back in November, I think Wednesday's going to be December 1st. So this is the last game of November.
Yeah.
Smart was the player of the month.
76ers.
You set the tone on defense. Passed. I think this is 12 straight games with 5 assists now for him. Most of the month he's been 5 or more. He has gotten his scoring going, taken less threes most nights, not tonight, but had a good night doing it. Taking the threes that he usually does and winning the game from that area too. Hitting the big shots down the stretch. That's when you feel good about him, along with the fact that he got the pick and roll going. Horford has just been so depleted offensively. You put them 2 in the pick and roll in the 4th, and they make a little magic happen there. You don't have many pick and roll creators on this team. So when you can get Smart that opportunity to push a 7-0 run running those sets, this guy's still the best passer on the team by far. There's no close second to me. And, I don't think the full-time point guard thing worked with him, but playing that hybrid 2 role that he's back in now works well for him. And it's what made him a great player in the past. I think the load that Schroeder's taken off of him has allowed him to become one of the best defenders in the league again. There was this, don't ask me to explain it, but I saw this stat drip in terms of perimeter defense. Smart was number 1 out of all the perimeter defenders in the league right now. Steals leader, if you want to go with a throwback stat. So this guy is playing both ends right now, better than anyone on this team. And he's the net rating leader right there with Brown and Cantor. When he comes off the floor, and I saw this against the Spurs, things just fall apart. So Smart, I think we started to question whether he was declining last year, and fairly so. At this age and these miles and the bumps and bruises he's accumulated, he looks as good as he ever has to me. And it's just awesome to see.
I don't think he was declining, though. I think we all agree that his defense may have taken a step back. But I don't
his
think
defense took a step back.
But that's who he is.
Like the contract was about him stepping into his prime, right? Sorry, Sherrod, go ahead. Not to cut you off.
No, I was going to say, I think what we're seeing is, and think about this for a second. When you look at Marcus Smart's time in Boston, other than last season, that was the first season where the team's identity had little to do with defense. And I don't think it was a coincidence that just happened to be Marcus Smart's, I think, his worst season as a Celtic. He didn't have the guys around him that understood, frankly, how that team could be successful.
But Sherrod, how did he compensate, though? This is the part that I feel like Celtics fans forget. He tried to do too much on the
He
offensive
tried to
end,
do
right?
too much. He tried something different that they were doing, and it didn't work for them. It didn't work for him. So this
Right.
year, Ime comes in. He's like, fellas, we got to get back to playing defense. And even though we're switching everything, it took them a minute to realize you don't need to switch every damn time the ball is passed to another guy. You can actually stay with your man for a minute or two. It took them
Right.
a while to figure that out. And I think this team, they've gotten back to being a team whose identity is rooted in defense. And that's when you're going to get the best out of Marcus Smart all around. I think his entire game is better when he's surrounded in a culture that's about playing defense. Because what they did last year, that wasn't defense. That was more
Oh,
like
it was so
offense.
bad.
That was
Oh.
offense. There wasn't much D in that. If it was like lowercase d, small font D. It was not the
To
big D that
see
we're
Those
used to
squiggly
and,
seeing
lines.
from
and to
them.
go into a season expecting them to be in play for number 1 like I thought they could, and see it drop to 30 for a number of stretches
Yeah.
last year, especially like the tail end of the season, it like
Right.
dropped off the map. That was
Yeah, but Bobby, you love that
horrifying.
team. That bubble team, I think that's your favorite Celtics team.
No, the one
Oh
last
God,
year
no.
that
Bubble
was the
team, yeah.
playing
He
tournament.
loves talking about the bubble team.
I
Yeah,
do love
that's your
playing
favorite
them.
team.
Yeah, the bubble
I
team
think
was
out of
my
the last
favorite of
5
all.
years, that's your favorite Celtics team, I think.
18 takes the cake as it should for everybody, but 20 was right there with it. 2 Eastern
Maybe
Conference
5
Finals
years
trips.
soon.
Smart, I think we all agree. Defensively, he's been on another level than he was at any point last season. Offensively, to me though, still way off. That 3-point shot, I know 40% tonight, 4 of 10, but overall, I think he's below 30. I'm fairly certain he's below 30% on the year. Still not a guy that I want shooting the three. Certainly not 10 times a game. But like I said, on a night where you're looking for anything to spark you offensively, I'll take it. But I don't want it to become the norm. I think we all like Marcus Smart in that field goal range of closer to 10 field goals attempts a game. Never mind 10 3-point field goal attempts a game. So I think he needs to continue to do what he's doing on the defensive end. Give the game what it needs on offense. Tonight, it needed a little bit of more of his shooting, and that's what he gave it. So credit to him. If Tatum's going to be going through this funk, off and on, I know he had 4 straight games of 30 points, and now he is prone to these type of performances or disappearances on the offensive end, and when that happens, sometimes it takes a little bit for the rest of the offense to sort of adapt to that and say, okay, well, it looks like I might need to take a little bit of the scoring load tonight, and that's kind of what Smart did tonight. So credit to him. I don't want it to become the norm, but at the same time, obviously, I don't want Jason Tatum to go 2 for whatever. I don't want that to be the norm either. So you kind of have to have one or the other. You can't have nobody taking shots or hitting shots on any given night, or you're going to lose. This is a game you won. If you can get a W out of a game where Tatum struggles so much on the offensive end, then you'll take that.
Yeah,
Well,
the thing about Smart though is he's going to have more games like this where he's going to make shots because just the law of averages says that his average is going to go up. It's not going to go up a ton because he's a low
Right.
to mid 30% shooter from 3-point
Yeah,
range.
he's not
But
going to shoot 22% all year
yeah,
long, right?
yeah, but his numbers are definitely going to go up because he puts too much time in for them not to. And to be honest with you, I think he's slowly but surely figuring out how to be a 3-point shooter with this group and not be a shot chucker in the
Mhm.
process. I mean, there
Mm-hmm.
seems to be a little bit more a selectivity about him in his
Yeah.
shots. I would say the last couple of weeks than we saw at the beginning of the season, where it just seemed like he was just taking any and every damn 3-point shot that he saw his sights set on. And that I
Right.
don't think he's doing as much of that anymore. And that's a good thing because he shouldn't be taking 10, 12 threes a game. I mean, if he takes 10 one night, he should maybe only take maybe 2 or 3 another night.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be more. There needs to be balance, and I think he's understanding that.
yeah, and to
I think
speak
a
to
lot of it had,
Jimmy's, or go ahead, Josue.
no, I was just going to say, I think a lot of it had to do, Sherrod, with just being left open so much, like frustratingly just disrespected. I feel like used to get into his head, like obviously coupled with the fact that guys were kind of just doing the same, sort of doing what they want to do. Other guys' approach were similar to what we saw from Marcus. So Marcus, I thought, was sort of thinking, well, I could do the same thing and try to save the day, and it just didn't work out
Right.
most nights throughout the course of the season last year.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to speak to Jimmy's, this is what I find most interesting about this team is they try to find themselves in a facilitator sense. There's still no go-to guy in that regard because Smart hasn't become that. I think some people pictured in their head him becoming the lead point guard who
That's
would
what
have the
people
ball
wanted.
all the
Yeah.
time and set
Mhm.
Yeah.
people up. It's not there, and I don't think they play a style that allows that to be there. Even Tatum, like they've tried to get him to be the playmaker, Brown to be the playmaker, but it always just ends up becoming by committee. And
Yeah.
the thing that is so difficult
Did
for
you just
me
big
to
screen yourself?
No, I didn't. Was that Josue? Jimmy,
Yeah,
just
I got to put my charger on. Go ahead. Man.
listen.
Keep talking.
Jimmy
Oh, my
just
bad.
strategic producer move by Josue, and Jimmy just tore it in half. But
Yep,
anyway,
yep. You saw that, right, Bobby? Thank you.
I
Appreciate
knew
it.
it was
But
going
Bobby,
on.
you were producing, so I thought you just big screened yourself. Be like, oh, I want everyone to see the point I'm about to make. That's
Oh,
what I
and
thought he
here
was
goes the
doing.
Now
show.
Josue is
Thank
big
you,
screening
Jimmy.
Now
himself.
Josue is
Damn.
big
Oh
screening
man,
himself.
what I
He
do?
doesn't know what. Josue, are you in like an interrogation room or something
No,
over
man.
there, man?
Sorry, Bobby. Go ahead. What you say?
Oh, I mean, there goes the thought. Thank you,
Continue.
Jimmy.
Yeah, sorry, dude. There goes the thought. My bad.
So, who is the go-to guy? Is it like who are you turning to down the stretch of a game when you need some creation here? And that's probably a big issue in the fourth quarter, right? I've asked Al about this. Like, you guys don't know who your lead ball handler is. It just flows through the game, and all of a sudden Tatum's not finding his scoring, so he's passing a little bit, and maybe Smart decides he wants to do some PNR down the stretch. Oh, Jaylen Brown, opening night, he's running the offense. It's great. Like, I think it works throughout the course of games, this by committee approach. Defenses don't know where the ball is going. It's swinging. But then it comes down to the final stretch there. And for a team that's last in net rating in the fourth, I think it's a fair question. Like, is this style conducive to a team being able to close games when you don't really know who is your lead ball handler? You don't have a Chris Paul. You don't have a Kyle Lowry or Jimmy Butler, one of these guys who you know the ball is going to be in their hands, LeBron. It's been like this for a while with the Celtics, and I do wonder if it's an asset or a detriment.
Well, I think the person that's supposed to be is Tatum. I mean, he's the guy. He's the guy that should have the ball in his hands down a stretch, making plays for himself, for others. He's shown the ability to create for others. He's obviously shown the ability to get his own shot. To me, down the stretch, it really shouldn't be much of a debate between it's either him or Jaylen Brown. But I think Tatum is the guy that should be in that role.
Yo, Bobby, get in here. Jimmy, what do you think?
I don't even know what the hell we're talking about right now.
Does Jimmy get a big screen now?
No, don't big screen me. Facilitating? No, I mean.
Who's your play? Who's down the stretch? Who's the guy that's going to have the rock and is going to basically pull the trigger?
I think Smart's trying to prove to everyone that he's the guy.
I mean, it's got to be.
That's what I'm getting at
here. So I like it.
If you're emailing,
at the end of the what do you mean? At the end of the game, the ball goes in the hands of your best player, regardless of how it gets there. But it's gonna have to work. It's gonna have to work at some point, or else the whole thing is the whole plan is effed.